Okay, we're gonna paint our, oops, I keep kicking this camera. We're gonna paint our Chevron Pumpkin. I'm gonna try to do it upside down because I don't know if I can flip video after I'm done. So I want it to be right side up for you. So this one is a mini version because I've already painted. This is the size. So there's quite the difference that you guys have. But for this tutorial, I just cut it out in mini so I don't waste a lot of wood. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set these two pieces aside. I sent yours with a piece of painter's tape across it. I thought that it would be easier for you to have all the pieces together versus picking the pieces out of the bottom of the bag. So if you want to carefully peel the painter's tape off, I also sent you with some sandpaper because sometimes if you peel the tape off, it might bring little slivers up. So you can just really softly and carefully go over the pieces like that if you needed to. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do my black pieces first because I want my outline to dry first. Charlie, no. Okay, I thought I had paused it because my dog started barking and I thought I had pushed play again and started painting, but I hadn't. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is open up the box that your project came from and use that as a protection for your surface, or you can use, like I'm using an old piece of paper because you're going to be putting paint directly onto it. So you're going to want something down. So get your paint pods out. I'm doing black first. So I got my outline out and then I'm just using paint directly on here, but you'll be dipping the wedge into your paint pod. So dip it into the black and then on a clean area, dab up and down to get the excess paint off. That way it's not going to drip down the edges. When you're using black, it doesn't really matter because the edges are black from the laser. But when you're painting other colors, doing super, super light coats and just lightly dabbing up and down is gonna keep your edges clean so that you don't have to worry about seeing the paint colors everywhere. Okay, you might have to do a couple coats. Once it's dry, you'll be able to see if any of the wood is showing through, and then you can go back and do another coat. But for now, I'm gonna set the outline aside, and then you can either use your own creativity, or if you're going off of the picture, then what I'm gonna do is I did every fourth one black. So this, it's the first, if you're doing this same pattern, the first larger one, the same technique, dab into the black paint, dab the excess off, and then up and down to paint it black. The great news is on this piece, because it's like a puzzle, you don't have to worry about the sides because it really doesn't matter. And then 1, 2, 3, and then 4, because they fit so close together. So if paint drips down the sides, it's okay because it's completely hidden. So this is a really, really great piece, especially for beginners. It might seem intimidating, but I love these kinds of puzzles, for lack of a better term, because they're so beginner friendly and they're gonna look so great at the very end. So we only have these two pieces that are black. So I'm gonna set that aside, and then my pieces are mostly dry because I just did very light coats. So I'm just gonna place them back in. Now I'm going to do white. If your hands are dirty, you can take this time to wash them. I'm not gonna worry about it. The most important thing is to make sure that you don't set your hands or anything down into the wet paint once you have started painting. So dip a wedge in, dip the excess off on the side, and then we'll start with this very first little triangle piece. I guess yours isn't as little as mine is. Now, if you're doing light coats, you plan on doing 2 to 3 coats, especially with these lighter colors. And then we're doing the one after the black. I'm really excited to see the pieces for those who chose other colors, and I hope you post them to give inspiration, because I'm planning on doing more pieces like this one. I hope that you guys find this as fun as I do. I love puzzles. If you do not like puzzles, maybe you will not like this kind of a project. But I love them, and it is so easy to customize to your colors. So I plan on making not a pumpkin, it'll just be like a rectangle. My daughter wants her room in like a boho theme, and so I plan on making a really big piece for her. And she has like, oh, what are those colors? Like the rust and the I don't know, cream and all that. That's really popular right now. She loves it. Okay, I just picked the piece that was right behind the black, and then just dab up and down, up and down. If I'm going too fast, I try to go kind of quickly just so that these videos aren't 1,000 years long. If I go too fast, just pause it. And if I'm not clear, like if you can't see what I'm doing and I'm not explaining it well, then just reach out to me, and I am always more than happy to go more in depth. Okay, and then I'm gonna sneak that back in there, and then the white is done. For yours, I'm almost positive you're gonna wanna do a second coat. Since this is, I probably should, because maybe my daughter will want it. I don't know. I'm not going to on this one. As I'm looking, you know what, I might, but mine aren't dry yet, so I can't. So I'm going to do the rose gold next. If you read your instructions, I had said to do a light coat of white. You don't have to, but the rose gold is going to be very shimmery, and it's going to take more coats to cover. So if you do a light coat of white on the rose gold pieces, which are right in front of the black pieces, if you're following along the picture, that's going to help it stand out more. And it just needs to be like the lightest coat. And this step is totally optional. If you don't want to do the white, or you don't have white because maybe you chose other colors, but you also chose the rose gold, the rose gold is still going to stand out. You just maybe will need to do like 3 coats instead of 2. So I'm just going to do a really quick, very light coat of white, and then it's these 2 end pieces that are also rose gold. Okay, and then I am going to do, if you're going to do it, you might as well do it right? So I'm going to push pause, and I'm going to do a second coat on my white. And actually, I'm just going to leave it paused. I got some black on there that I need to cover. So do the same technique with the navy and with the rose gold. Oh, you know what I forgot? I didn't paint my stem. The stem is also black. And then this little leaf, I did mine rose gold. So you can do yours whatever color you want. So use the same technique of dab into the paint, dab the excess off, and then up and down, and then come back and we will assemble our piece. Okay, once all of your pieces are dry, it's time to put it together. So make sure that you don't set your elbow or your hands in the wet paint. The best thing is to move that, but you still need a protective surface. You can move this one at a time, but I'm just gonna go ahead and scooch this right off. Okay, the first piece is actually the most important piece. As you can see, I gave you a guideline of where everything goes. If this outline is not glued down properly, nothing is going to fit. So when you glue it down, you want to make sure that you are around the edges of everything. There is a little bit of wiggle room, so it's not like you have to be perfect or else it's not gonna work. There is a little bit of wiggle room, but if you glue it and you like squeeze too hard so that it's narrower, the pieces will not fit. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our super glue and not over here. Actually, you technically could. That might be the easiest. I went ahead and put glue directly on my piece. I just basically did here, 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 and here. Or if you're more comfortable, you can just go ahead and glue directly down on here. I don't think I did because I didn't want it to drip down the sides. I didn't like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to press down, and remember, a little goes a long ways. And then I'm just going to go down this side, right here, right here, and right here. I'm basically just dragging the tip along. And then I'm going to line up the bottom first. And before I press down, I'm going to go around and make sure that it's touching the sides. You have to work quickly and make sure that it's not scrunched anywhere, that it is matching the sides. And as long as it's even all the way around, you're golden. Okay. So now it's time to put it together like a puzzle. So literally all I did was I would put a dot there, and then I would bring this in and match it up with the edge and set it down. And then my next piece. And make sure that it is inside the lines, because we do not want to get to the very end and realize we don't have enough room. If you're worried about that, then you're going to want to put everything in and then pick it up one at a time to do that, if you're worried about not having enough room, because that will ensure that you do. If you use wood glue instead of super glue, you would be able to just fill in everything and then put your pieces in. But super glue, I believe, would dry too fast. You might be able to do a couple pieces at a time, but it already goes so fast. I don't think it's a big deal. And two more. There we go. So as you can see, I have a couple gaps. Like there's a tiny gap there. I don't know if you can see on the video. There's a tiny gap here. So there is room for, it doesn't have to be perfection. There is room. So don't panic. As long as you dry fitted everything in and you know it's gonna fit, then you're golden. Okay, so now I'm gonna set down my stem how I want it. So how I did mine is I just eyeballed it, and I didn't want to see a hole here. I just wanted it to kind of hit the top in a way that looked natural. So there's no rhyme or reason. And then I just try to make it as straight across where the stem meets as I could, as I keep hitting it. And then your leaf can go anywhere. Like you can put it down here in the corner. You could put it right in the middle. I did mine this way, off to the side, wherever you want that. So I only glued this part because my stem was hanging in the air, so it did not need super glue. And I'm gonna eyeball that and then hold that down. And then this time maybe I'll just put it right here. So I'll just put a little bit of super glue. I just glued my finger to that right here. Hold that down. And then I probably should have put some more. Oh well, it's good. And then you set it in your frame and enjoy. If you got shimmer, enjoy your shimmery modern glam pumpkin.